Hey guys, welcome back to my little starting class guide for Dark Souls 1, Dark Souls Remastered, either one. My name is Rob, and today I'm going to go over the pros and cons and the best start you can get with the Knight. The Knight starts with 14 Vitality, which is the highest of any starting class, so you automatically get more life. 10 Attunement, so you can cast a spell from the get-go if you happen to get one. 10 Endurance, which isn't terribly high, but it's not terrible. Because of the Knight's heavy starting equipment, you're going to be kind of slow rolling and not all that mobile by default. But there's some pros that comes with the Knight's lack of mobility, we'll say, that makes up for it. 11 strength, 11 dex, 10 resistance, 9 intelligence, but 11 faith. So if you put one more point into faith, something you can do with the Knight when you first start off is can cast a heal miracle very early in the game if you choose to do that. So let's go ahead and go over more of the equipment that the Knight uses. Alright. I kind of went over the stats and what they mean and stuff in the first video with the warrior. So I'm going to skip like all the longer explanations on things like that. But if you look over here, poise that you start off with is 46. That is the highest of any starting class, and that's due to the Knight's starting equipment. The Knight set. Knight helm, Knight armor, Knight gauntlets. They each have a decent amount of poise. The armor has 20 poise. The helmet has 8. The gloves have 6, and the leggings have 12. That is a lot of poise for one armor set. But of course, I'm mid-rolling with just the armor on. Once you equip the shield and the weapon that the Knight uses, you're going to be slow rolling by default. But to make up for the lack in mobility that comes with the Knight, you can strip down a couple of pieces of equipment, like maybe the helmet and the armor, and just keep the gloves and the leggings on, or whatever combination you want to use. If you want to have gloves and helmet, you can do that. Whatever works for you. Gonna dash right on through here because I'm not interested in the Asylum Demon whatsoever. See you later, alligator. Alright, let's come over here to the Tower Kite Shield. Let me hold that up. I'll go over his stats here in a second. Let's get rid of this mischievous little hollow that wants to shoot arrows at me while I'm trying to do things. And the broadsword. It's a little different from the longsword of the warrior, and I think it's probably not quite as good overall, but it's still good. Alright. So what we have here with the Tower Kite Shield is 58 stability, so it's got the highest stability of any starting shield in the game. The reason I think the heater shield is a little better is because the heater shield is one whole less unit of weight, which doesn't sound like much, but it adds up. Any little thing that keeps you from having a decent roll is, that 1 point can make a huge difference. But otherwise, it's got 100% physical damage reduction, 30% magic, 70 fire, and 50 lightning, which I think is exactly the same as the heater shield. So, both starting classes start off with a great shield. The broadsword of the Knight does a little bit more damage ultimately once you've upgraded it than the longsword does, but its moveset is less versatile. You don't have that forward jab that you have with the longsword. If you press R2, it's a long horizontal sweep, which isn't a bad move in and of itself, but it doesn't work as good in narrow corridors if you find yourself in a tunnel trying to fight like rats or something. It's easier to smack against the wall. in places like that, but not always. A way you can kind of mitigate that is to two-hand your weapon and just do the vertical attacks like that. And like I said, another thing you can do if you want to have a faster roll, you can strip off some of your equipment, and all of a sudden you've got more mobility. With the Knight's leggings, you still have 12 poise, which isn't great by any means, but it's not bad either. Let's see if I can fast roll with the gauntlets. Nope, cannot. So anyway, something you can do when you start as the Knight, when you need more mobility, strip some of your equipment down. If you find yourself in an area with mobs and you kind of can't avoid getting hit, you can always put all of your armor on to have more poise. That way, enemies can't stun lock you.
Oh, regrettably.
So let's speed on through
Thank you.
all this dialogue and cutscenes and whatnot, and I'm going to go into some of the cool stuff you can do with the Knight when you first start off. As you can see right there, I'm taking a hit now and again, and it's not stunning me. Whereas, let's say I have no poise. Got an arrow in my right butt cheek. Watch this. See, those attacks stun me. You see how he kind of staggers back and groans? If you got poise, you don't have to worry about that happening. There we go. So there's like a little crash course in the way that poise works. I hear the Asylum Demon getting antsy, so let me come on and have my conversation with him so he doesn't get too impatient with me. One other thing I think I forgot to point out in the video with the warrior, always come around to the side here before you head for the cliff and grab that Soul of a Lost Undead. A lot of times right after leveling up, you'll have like enough souls for 2 levels and then almost enough souls for a 3rd one. And if you have that soul item, you can use that and all of a sudden you have enough souls for another level, a 3rd level. So, what are some cool things you can do with the Knight when you first start off? Showed y'all the little run through the graveyard to get the Zweihander and the Winged Spear. Now, with the Knight, you'd have to level up considerably more in order to use either one of those for early portion of the game, and you won't be able to really use them until you've probably gotten through the first few mobs of enemies to the first bonfire in the first area of the game, the Undead Burg. So, if you want to use the Winged Spear and the Zweihander to start off with, the Knight may not be the best starting class for you to choose. Now, I mean, of course, you can farm these first few hollows, do whatever you want to do to get enough souls to do that. You can do whatever you want. You can start as a sorcerer and make yourself like a great club wielding caveman or whatever you want to do. It's up to you. You can take your character in whatever direction you want to do, but it's usually wisest to pick a starting class with a particular build in mind, whether that's melee, magic, or something that's going to be like a weapon specialist versus more of a tank. The Knight is something it's a starting class you want to choose if you kind of want to go the tank route. But you can also cast an early heal miracle very early on. All you have to do is not cancel out of the menu there. Put 1 point into faith. Hit accept. Confirm your reinforcement. Now then, let's come on over here to this NPC to the right. This guy is Petrus of Thurland, and he is the first miracle merchant you meet.
Hello.
You have to talk to him a few times before he'll start selling you things.
But here, no.
He'll give you a copper coin, and then...
Oh my. Oh, I have to. So what if would that?
You want to select yes.
Very well.
And he gets you to join the Way of White Covenant if you don't already belong to it. The Knight and the Cleric both start out belonging to this covenant, which all the Way of White does, it just makes it easier if you want to be summoned for online co-op or whatever. It makes it easier for other people to see your summon sign. Basically, you get co-op priority over other people who maybe don't belong to this covenant. So
Now let me only.
it only matters if you're online. So learn the gesture, shrug. It's important. And then you'll go to purchase item, and let's see. Oh, as you can see, we don't quite have enough for heal. You need 4,000 souls in order to get it, and I don't have that.
Come again.
So what can we do? It's a conundrum. Let's see here. We got this soul item. And that gives me 200, but that's still not quite enough. So something you can do, you can either farm for souls down in New Londo if you want to do that, or, you know, just whatever. But if you want to do something a little more risky, just by the way, you come over to this chest. You gotta have a talisman to cast your miracles. So make sure you grab that. It's free. Don't bother buying one from Petrus of Thurlin. The regular talisman you get right there is just fine. So you have to be very careful when you do this. But there are some soul items down here. A large soul of a lost undead. Just roll away from the skelly boys. Large soul of a lost undead. Well, while I'm here, I might as well just grab this Zweihander and the wing spear. To the left of this big old gravestone here is a set of binoculars if you want to get those. But it's difficult to get the Zweihander, the wing spear, and all the items and the binoculars in one go round. Because when you go towards that ledge for the binoculars, it's easy for all the skeletons to cluster up right there and block you from getting away. So just keep that in mind. Binoculars are not a mandatory item by any means. It's just a way for you to examine certain things a little bit more closely. Alright. So let's see if that's even enough. Closer, but no cigar. So what else can we do? Let's come over here to these steps. There are some more soul items we can get. Approach these enemies very slowly. Don't rush in, because if you rush in, they will all attack you at once, and you don't want that. Go a little bit further, and one of them will come down the steps towards you. His AI gets a little screwy sometimes. I've seen this particular little hollow, like he will fall down sometimes and just dive right off a cliff for no reason. Alright, we got a guy throwing fire bombs. Another guy up there further to the right. If you come right here, get the attention of this guy with a battle axe. You want to kind of lead him down here. Away from the guy with the fire bombs. There we go. Of course, if you want to storm this area with full armor so that you have more poise, by all means do that. Alright, this guy is being annoying, so we're going to deal with him. There we go. And one more. Circle around and backstab. There we go. Alright. So I'm going to come over here. Going to grab this soul of a lost undead. Let's see what that does. 200 more. We only need 950 more souls, and we can buy that heal miracle. Oh! Yeah, be careful of the rats. They'll poison you. Which will continually drain your health. We'll get another soul of the lost undead. There we go. Yeah, whenever you're poisoned or anything like that, you can run towards the bonfire and rest at it, and that will dispel poison and whatever else you got going on. It'll heal you, recharge your Estus flasks, all that fun stuff. Get rid of this guy. And another Soul of a Lost Undead. We're getting there. So now I only need 500 more souls to buy that heal miracle. This isn't something you have to do. It's just something that's easier to do when you start as a knight versus, let's say, the warrior or wanderer or pyromancer or, other melee classes like that. But you could technically consider the pyromancer as more of a spellcaster, but pyromancer is kind of a hybrid build. Alright. Getting about 60 souls per kill here, so you can farm these guys for a little while. Poise up. Might be moving slower, but you can take hits better like this. Unless they jump on your head. That guy just fell. These hollow guys will also occasionally drop their equipment. So you might be able to get like a battle axe or, a long sword from the other one. You kill this rat again. And look there. It's only been a few minutes, and I only need 50 more souls to buy that miracle. And I'll go over how to equip the miracle and all that kind of stuff, and how to use it. All that fun stuff. If you would rather, you can also make the trip down to New Londo and fight those hollows, because they won't aggro on you unless you hit them first, and they're really easy to kill, but they do drop less souls. It's like 20 souls each, I think. One of the best tactics in the game. Let him bounce off your shield, circle around behind him, and backstab. Alright, we got 4,000 souls now. You just run on back to the bonfire here. And of course, once you rest at the bonfire, your Estus flasks recharge, you're healed, and it resets all of the enemy positions. So if anything was chasing you, you rest at the bonfire before they get to you, and it'll put them back in their original location. So let's run back up here to Petrus.
No,
There's some other miracles here like Great Heal Excerpt, Homeward, Force, Seek Guidance, that can be kind of useful, but they each require more faith than we have. Well, not all of them. Homeward and Great Heal do. Force and Seek Guidance aren't going to be as useful as Heal would be this early in the game, so use those 4,000 souls. Bam. Got our first miracle.
come again.
Oh, Petrus. Tries to act friendly, but he's a pretty shady dude. So anyway, in order to equip your miracle, you have to first equip a talisman. This allows you to cast miracles. Come over here to your bonfire and go to Attune Magic. And you'll see how the square at the top there is kind of highlighted in red. You press X. You highlight the spell you want to use, press X again to confirm. Bam. And then in that counter to the bottom left of the screen, you see you've got your items on the bottom, your spells on the top. So if you have multiple spells, you press up on the D-pad to cycle through them. Put your talisman in your left hand, press L1. Or if it's in your right hand, press R1. There you go, got a healing spell. And now you're ready to tackle the first area. If you run out of your Estus flasks, or if you want to save up on them, when you're kind of in a safe zone, like after a scrap with a mob or something like that, and you've been damaged but you don't want to use Estus flask, you can use heal. So again, the pros of the knight, when he's fully equipped, He's got really good poise, so he can take a lot of hits without flinching. Starts off with the highest vitality of any of the starting classes, has excellent armor, shield, and weapon. Not the best weapon. He doesn't have great mobility, but he's got high stats, which will allow you to do things like level up your faith once and attune the heal miracle. Alright, so that's pretty much all I have to say about the knight right off the top of my head. Excellent starting class. I would recommend it if you want a tankier character that can withstand more hits and has access to heal miracles early on. It's a safe starting class, we'll put it that way. Not my favorite, and in my opinion, maybe not the best, but possibly the safest one. So anyway, thank you guys so much for watching. I'll see you soon with the next starting class on the list. Till then, y'all take care.